quarter-life crisis.
Our first contestant hails from hell. Arizona, Zachary Joe!
Hey, how's it going, Zachary?
It's just zebra.
Okay.
Our next contestant hails from Disco, Tennessee, Jessica Johnson!
Oh, wow! Hey!
Oh, my. And finally, from Barrington, Illinois, Kyle Devonshire!
Yeah, Kyle, all right. Nice to meet you. Now, I've just got one question for you. Are you ready to play? What's your problem? Whatever.
David works in logistics.
He is very logical, such a good student. And he has so many interests. David has a
Timeline.
For example,
By age 24, I want to own my own car. And that's exactly what happened.
Like, when he was 24, he actually went out and bought
and that's what makes him so interesting to me.
He's the sweetest, most even-keeled guy.
Aww, he treats her so well.
We've been dating 5 years, and I love spending time with him more than anyone else in the world.
And we've always been able to talk through the sort of conflicts that any relationship goes through.
Except
This conflict.
Around the time I began my junior year of college, I began hearing a lot of cautionary tales from people who were younger than I and were almost already out.
Oh, you're so lucky that you're still in school.
They'd say wistfully with a hint of contempt.
And then the tone of the conversation would shift, and it was as if these friends and I were on a sinking ship in the remote and stormy islands of the Pacific.
And there was only one seat left on the lifeboat.
And they were dying of cholera, and we had
Already eaten the other crewmen!
Then, of course, it began to make sense for me to save myself, and then they would yell at me and say,
stay in school as long as you can!
Okay, my little kitty weebies, minions do. Don't worry about me, I'll be just fine.
Oh, it's rich.
You think the slings and arrows of the real world don't apply to you?
The chances of you waking up with a missing kidney in a bag full of ice seems more likely than...
The more chances of you being severely unhappy after you
Fast forward a year, I've begun to say these things to myself, and I heard people saying things that were 6 months older than I.
It's like some cliched after-school special.
Appreciate your time in college, enjoy it while it lasts!
According to the New York Times on September 19th, 2014, it's taking each successive generation longer and longer to reach adulthood.
Over the past 5 decades,
College is more expensive now than ever.
Contraception allows you to choose when to have children.
yes! Lengthening the amount of time it takes to prepare for adulthood.
Therein lies the problem. Prolonged adolescence has created the quarter-life crisis. Everyone is looking around and saying,
I'm sure everyone else has got it more together than I do.
I mean, I'm sure I'll have it figured out by the time I'm...
You know, I'm sure we'll look back on this day and laugh, right? Oh.
I'm sure I'm not completely alone.
And you're not.
Through the articles found in Slate magazine on June 4th, 2012, the New York Times on September 19th, 2014, and National Public Radio on October 7th, 2014.
The books Expletive, I'm in my 20s by Emma Koenig, Adulting by Kelly Williams Brown, In Between Places by Mary-Kate Frank, and 20-something Manifesto by Christine Hassler.
The blog's 25 Signs You're Having a Quarter-Life Crisis by Paul Angoni, BuzzFeed's 10 Signs You're Having a Quarter-Life Crisis by Jessica Meisner.
Music by Mark Ronson, lyrics by Arman, and an essay by Aaron.
We will explore prolonged adolescence and the quarter-life crisis it's creating for 20-somethings everywhere. In
Adulting!
For Dummies.
All right, welcome back, folks, and now it's time to meet some of our contestants. Kyle, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I work at Starbucks. I'm in crippling debt, and I'm in a band.
All right, thanks so much, Kyle. And Jessica, what about you?
Well, I'm 25 and I just moved in with my boyfriend, and I'm going to focus on my degree in chemistry.
All right, thanks so much. And what about you, Zebra? Zachary?
Just Zebra, yeah. Well, I just got an awesome new job of learning the ropes at the office, and I got 2 sweet roommates. Yeah!
All right. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I guess I gotta ask you, what is your problem?
Okay, well, you see, I got this one roommate, and then when I don't do my laundry, she yells at me, and I'm like, Mom!
Oh,
and then
all right. All right, thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned as we watch our contestants struggle to keep their heads above water while going through financial uncertainty, relationship limbo, and career upheavals. They might be in the midst of their quarter-life crisis, but we're just getting started on What's Your Problem?
Here's where it started. We were sitting on our couch,
In their spacious two-room apartment.
and I see that on Facebook that,
another one of their mutual friends is engaged.
God, it's like everyone we know is either getting married or having babies.
Well, yeah. I mean, we are getting to that time now. I definitely see myself with kids within the next 5 years.
Wait. I didn't know you wanted kids. Definitely didn't know you wanted kids within 5 years. David, we're not even married.
I know. But my timeline looks like this. I want to be married within 3 years and have kids within 5.
To me.
What?
Do you want to be married to me?
Well, yeah.
Okay, but what about my timeline? I mean, I don't even know if I want kids. Where would we put a kid? You can't just buy a baby and then return it when you're done.
Actually, you can.
This might be the biggest sign of all that you're having your very own
Quarter-life crisis.
You know, you can't help thinking that this isn't exactly where you pictured yourself to be.
At 23.
25.
or 30.
You know, maybe you don't have a significant other.
Because you don't.
Maybe you're not exactly at your dream job.
Maybe you're still fighting with this roommate over who gets to do the dishes.
You never clean anything.
Sure. You were never a white picket fence kind of person.
But you thought that you'd at least have some of your stuff together by now.
Instead, you have PapaJohns.com bookmarked on your browser.
Yay.
Half-hearted Tinder habit.
Forget Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. I'm gonna be your man.
If you were an Engel, you'd be a cute one.
My name is Joey from Bengali. Want to be my baby?
Top 10 signs you're having a quarter-life crisis. 1. When is life gonna feel like it's supposed to? Is something you ask yourself every day.
2. You're reading this article because you Googled quarter-life crisis.
3. Visualizing yourself doing your boss's job 15 years from now. Oh my God.
4. You're having these arguments with your new spouse or roommate. It sound a lot like the arguments that your parents used to have, that you swore you would never have, but you're still having.
5. You've had 6 jobs in the last 4 years.
You've had 6 boyfriends in the last 4 years.
You've had no boyfriends or girlfriends in the last 6 years, and you're starting to think that maybe your boyfriending or your girlfriending is broken.
7. Your part-time temporary job at Starbucks has lasted you 3.5 years.
Oh. 8. Making a budget is completely debilitating.
Even thinking about doing taxes, debilitating.
Buying groceries? Debilitating.
Doing dishes, cooking dinner, calling your mom back, calling your best friend back, picking up the phone at all. Debilitating.
And, you you just think that perhaps you could punch your smug college self in the face. Who thought he had all the answers?
You really don't know where to get all the answers.
You're 99.7% sure a road trip would fix everything.
So you see, son, the truth is, graduating from college, just like any other landmark rite of passage.
Like losing your virginity.
In anticipation of that event, we can hypothesize based upon
Preliminary basis, hun?
What friends tell us and lie about.
And what we see in movies.
But you know, when it actually happens, isn't it just the simple awareness of being in that moment?
I mean, it's not that scary.
Or crazy.
It just kind of
Is. However, what I pictured happening to me when I graduated from college
Was the equivalent of becoming the Red Power Ranger. It's morphin' time.
Life did not fully prepare me for the
WTF?
that I was living in.
So I'm in my 20s now.
And it really sucks.
3 days later, a big brown box arrived at their apartment.
I peeled off the tape and opened the flaps, and there were round-like beady eyes staring up at me.
It was a baby!
Oh, not like a dead baby or anything.
It was a robot baby.
A plastic robot baby.
We named him Zebulon. Zebby was our baby for 3 days.
I inserted 4 AA batteries into his back.
You know, like he was a real baby.
And he began to scream this loud. You know, that is just how the baby do.
We had to carry this thing around with us for 3 days in public.
Well, yeah, you can't just leave it home alone.
You gotta have to take it with you to the store.
And pick the car up from the shop.
Plus, we had committed to going apple picking with my best friend.
Seamus O'Flanagan.
All right, welcome back, folks. And now it's time to jump right into our questions. We always like to start with questions from your childhood. Question 1. What was the biggest crisis of your young life?
My mom made me eat spinach.
Barney was canceled.
Tickle me almost spoke to me at night.
And the answer is when Boy Meets World ended. Question 2. What can you find on the jobs section of Craigslist?
Jobs that don't pay enough.
Jobs that keep you hanging out with your bros.
Jobs that drive you insane. Actually, unless you want an apprenticeship under a Ukrainian dog bather, you'll find absolutely nothing good. And question 3, what do you owe your parents?
Hugs. A nice dinner.
A grandchild.
Actually, on average, you owe them about $245,000.
How did this happen?
How did I join the ranks of the post-collegiate disenchanted?
Perhaps it came down to my tragic character flaw.
The inability to live in the moment.
When I was in middle school, I wanted to be in high school.
When I was in high school, I wanted to be in college.
Since I was in college, I just wanted to be starting my career.
And once I got there, I just wanted to give up. And begin phase 2.
When all
My dreams.
Came true.
ASAP, homies!
I could have sworn that during freshman orientation, the dean said,
As soon as you get your diplomas, a genie will appear.
And grant you infinite wishes.
You know, although, now that I think about it, I probably misheard because I was texting. Now I have to think about that guy in the subway who's crazy and always yells,
College is alive!
actually knows what he's talking about.
yes, boys and girls, everything I thought I knew about phase 2 was wrong.
Very wrong.
Oh, how wrong I was.
We arrived at the mud parking lot of the orchard when Seamus
Go talk to the car and let the secrets.
I got out of the car and strapped an 8-pound chunk of plastic baby onto me. And we covered him with a blanket so that
People thought there was a real baby under there.
David said,
We'll take turns, okay?
Zebulon was amazing.
I mean, he didn't cry the entire day.
And I walked a little bit slower and with more caution than David and Seamus. Nice.
Oh, you know, just you and Tim.
I started to realize that I was doing this weird bouncing motion, and when I looked up, I caught eyes with the most unbelievably gorgeous, put-together girl. She was like Pinterest. And she looked my age. she was also had the carrier strapped to her front, and she was also doing the weird bouncing motion. And she looked up at me as if to say,
We are in this together.
and I started to cry. Because I realized that we aren't in this together. I wanted to so badly just unstrap Zebulon and just be like, no, he's fake. But if he were real, of course I would have connected with you. But I'm not a mother. And if I were, I'd want to be like you. I don't want to be a parent who loves her child but hates her life.
I
Want to be you.
But I also couldn't tell if I was like overreacting to my current situation.
Was everyone else as pleased as Punch with their 20s?
Was I insane for experiencing it this way?
Did my mother obsessively read the bell jar to me when I was in utero?
What was wrong with me?
Now, some of you might say,
Just get over it.
Nobody cares.
and to those people I say,
Oh, really?
Is that so?
I mean, sure, maybe you have a point.
Maybe I should come up with wittier retorts.
And maybe you yourself are even in your 20s. If so,
Screw you! I mean, congrats, but bro, have some compassion for those of us who haven't yet reached enlightenment phase yet.
what are you, an animal?
Guys, I'm still waiting for the things that were promised to me in the movies.
You know, my looks have never stopped traffic.
I've never inspired a slow clap.
I've never burst out in a song.
Stop! Wait a minute. Empty room, need a patient. Got no time, flipping shit. Need a girl with some cash. Go to college, grad school, got an internship with no money. If I sleep in, I'ma lose my job. Faster than Gonzalez Speedy. I'm too poor, hot damn. I'm all but unemployed, man. Too poor, hot damn. Was my dad out of retirement? Too poor, hot damn. Hot damn. My diet is ramen. Too poor, hot damn. And my bank statements, I'm pretty. Break it down. Girls say they won't date me.
Guys say that I'm crazy.
Mom and dad say I'm lazy. And I just say, hold up a minute. Cause I gotta catch my breath a bit. This ain't how I want it. Saturday night, don't got a date. I'm so done with those shits. One of the most jolting days of adulthood comes the time you run out of
Toilet paper. You know, toilet paper.
up to this point.
Always just
And it wasn't a finite resource constantly in danger of extinction.
That must be tracked and monitored.
It's not just the toilet paper, though. There are so many tiny, endless details to attend to.
You know, food doesn't just spontaneously manifest itself in my fridge.
gross things like oversized toilets.
And dead squirrels on your porch.
Or on your shoulders.
No one else is going to remove that spider, biding its time in the shower before it lays eggs in your ears.
Knock on your door, Tav.
If any ketchup has spilled, harden and offer to clean it up.
You want to clean it?
Hell no.
Half-empty beer cans are going to emit foul, smelling gases until you recycle them.
But now, the good news! Billions
And billions of people manage to
live in a home without killing themselves.
Or others.
And chances are, you're one of them. You know, there isn't an adult on this earth who hasn't felt the deep, unsettling feeling that their life is wobbly and unimaginable. You know, this is perpetuated by the popular, though incorrect, perception that you're surrounded by people who have their lives together. We jealously look around at others and ask, why you and not me? But don't stress out. We believe that you can do it.
Especially if you follow these rules.
Step 1. Buy toilet paper in bulk.
Step 2. Find a deep sea of insincerity to be sort of nice to the people you dislike.
Thanks so much.
Step 3, get a nice actual bed.
Step 4, most things that feel like an emergency are not actually an emergency.
I'm broken down!
Bro, I just ran out my favorite protein!
My favorite high heels are not on sale.
It's not an actual bed!
Step 5, don't compare your blooper reel to anyone else's highlight. And step 7,
Breathe. This too shall pass.
I sit down next to my chain-smoking couples therapist, Nancy.
So, hey, how'd your little experiment go? Good?
Fine.
Okay, how do you feel about it? Do you still feel like denying David here a real chance at fatherhood?
Oh my God, come on, Nancy. I could never ask a man to father a child he didn't want. I could never ask that of a man. So why is it what David wants stands? I mean, why should I do something that I feel forced to do? If I have a child that I want, I will be satisfied with my life. If I have a child that I don't want, I will be satisfied with my life. And I know it's totally blasphemous, but I'm going to do what I want to do. Instead of doing something I feel pressured to do. It's my life, and it is no longer anyone else's decision but my own.
I do not believe this.
They didn't talk for a few days, but then one morning,
When I woke up, I found a letter on the table that said,
I freaked out because of my age and my ridiculous timeline. I lost sight of the life we have, and you're right. I have a lot of thinking to do. I'm sorry I was so selfish and stupid. I love your career and your independence. I love you. You are more than enough, and I shouldn't have ever made you feel otherwise. I mean, I know this note probably doesn't make anything better, but I just wanted to let you know that we have all the time in the world to figure this out.
now, before I begun this journey of adulthood, I was so excited to step beyond the boundaries of adolescence into an exciting new world of freedom, just like our forefathers promised, you know. But now I've got my life, some liberty, but I'm pursuing unhappiness. I'm overwhelmed. How will I pay my rent?
How can I put food on the table?
How can I? How will I? How will I sleep at night knowing that I am all alone?
All right, now we're on to our final 3 questions. These questions have been personally crafted by our panel of judges. Just Zebra, come on down stage.
What up, dude?
All right. At what age do you plan to actually move out of your parents' basement?
Well, I'm slowly paying off my loan debt, and, I'm about $80,000 in debt. But, really, I just got promoted. I'm hoping that I can pay it off, so maybe in the next 7 years.
All right, thanks so much. And Jessica, come on down stage. What are your plans after you graduate?
well, I'm not really sure when I'm going to be completing my master's. In order to afford my new apartment, I might have to look at jobs outside of my major. But if I don't go for a doctorate, I might complete my degree on time.
Great, thank you so much. And finally, Kyle, come on down stage. When do you really think your band is gonna make it?
Well, I'm still kind of building our music repertoire. Okay, we only have like 3 songs, but we hope to have an album in a year or so and maybe play some few gigs after that. Hopefully a record company will notice us and give us a label. I don't want to work at Starbucks forever. No?
Thank you so much. Actually, everyone, the answer we were looking for is... There doesn't need to be a set time to do anything. Everyone's situation is different. College loans now can be really debilitating, but you don't have to follow anyone's guide for when you need to hit supposed milestones. Focus on what you can do, not what you can't control. It's your life.
It's my life.
It's my life.
It's my life.
And that means you get to choose how to live it. Ta-da!